Hi there, it's Tim with Far North Magic. Today we're going to be looking at part 6 uh, of cards that I think might get reprinted in Commander Masters. And we're going to be looking at sets of some more pre-modern sets with Invasion through Scourge. So that's 3 blocks right before they switch to the modern frame in Mirrodin. And there's probably not going to be a whole heck of a lot overall, but let's take a look and see what we got. I somewhat expect Captain Sisay could get hit. Even Phyrexian Arena, even though it was hit in the last double masters. Not 100% sure if anything is safe. Crystal Spray is a weird one because I'm pretty sure that's like one of the meme cards from like the Dan format, like the Forgotten Fish or whatever format. I don't think that's gonna, like, I don't know if that would have got caught in the net of like cards they bother with, because like it was never really a card that mattered. Aura Shards might be a good target. Empress Guyana would be a good target. Even like depending on if there's elves in the, if there's a bunch of elves, Elvish Champion might be a good reprint. I'm even surprised that Elvish Champion's like worth as much as it is, because it had like it got catastrophically destroyed at 8th edition, and then I kind of ignored it for the rest of time. Collective Restraint might be another good card. Tangle, I think that's just another like fog, but like $7. Why? I don't know. A lot of these like cards in the $4 or $5 range are just kind of meh. I don't think they'd pop up on anyone's radar, but I don't think they're worth a lot of money. Like, I don't think they're worth that money due to like super high demand. Next up is Plane Shift. So we have Diabolic Intent. The Tanagaroff is just an alternate foil that was like really, really hard to get. I don't even remember all that was to do with that, but like I remember them being worth money for like quite a long time. There was that one, and Urtai and the Weatherlight, I think, that each had an alternate art, but the cards were worth hardly anything. Diabolic Intent was in the Brothers War, so I think it would get skipped. Maybe we get an Ornum's Chant reprint. It hasn't got hit except for, I think, on the list. Lord of the Undead, I think it got a Secret Lair, so it's probably due for a reprint. Eladamri's Call might be something that'd be interesting. I think it had like a Modern Horizons 1 reprint as the last time it got hit. Most of the rest of these things don't seem that crazy. Maybe the Familiar cycle gets hit. It's a common cycle. Like this Sunscape Familiar is quite expensive. It gives like the two allied colors of that, so it would give like blue and green a reduced cost. But other than that, like they reprinted the Triland, like the Lairlands with the catacombs and stuff in remastered. And then it's just like $1 or $2 cards. I don't think they'll be picking, like, specifically targeting those cards. Like, I'm not looking at those cards as like, oh, if you have tons of, like, if you have a bunch of extras, like maybe you have to look at moving off of some of them, or if it's a card that you want, like that's a more expensive card, maybe you hold off and wait to see if it gets reprinted. So next up is Apocalypse. I really liked Apocalypse. Apocalypse had some really awesome cards, except for like they've got reprinted into the ground. You got the enemy Painlands. You got Phyrexian Arena. You got Pernicious Deed, Vindicate, and Spirit Monger were all big hits, and they've all got hit a bunch of times. So now they're not worth a huge amount of anything. Maybe Pernicious Deed gets hit. Fervent Charge should get hit somewhere, but I don't know if they'll reprint it here or if it will get skipped. Maybe Chromat gets hit. Have a 5-color option that nobody cares about really, but that might be something as a cheapo rare. Like, it's still a little bit. We got Deserted Temple, which would have been really high up there, but it's a box topper for Lord of the Rings. There are cheaper versions of Entomb, but I don't know if they'll print Entomb. Tarnished Citadel might be an option. I can't even fathom that it would be this much money. That was just a super bulk rare back in the day. Karmic Justice would be a really good hit. Time Stretch just got hit, so there's cheaper versions of it out there. Tainted Pack's pretty cheap. Cephalid Coliseum would be a good reprint. Buried Alive. Price of Glory, I don't think it's got hit before, so it would be a good hit. Like even something like Crystal Quarry, I could see getting hit somewhere. Maybe it be in the Sliver deck. Not that it's a good, super good land or anything. It's just it would give you fixing to get your 5-color. And I don't know. Some of these cards, like, I don't know, these like $4 or $5 cards in these old sets that are like almost the only scarcity plays. I don't feel either way towards them. They might reprint Standstill. That would be something, even though it's not good in Commander. But be good to put it somewhere to get more copies out there, get cheaper foils, other variants. Next up is Torment, and Torment's got knocked down pretty hard. Cabal Coffers and Chainers have both been well, I guess Coffers was in Horizons 2, and if they're going to reprint Yavimaya Cradle of Growth as a box topper, like the Coffers could be in play actually. Like if they hit Ragavan, if they hit Yavimaya, I don't know, maybe they hit the Coffers also. Cabal Ritual, not that it's like I wouldn't consider it a commander card, but like it might be a place to put it just to, like, I also, as I've said before, I expect them to put constructed playable cards in, because you can't like just do it all off of cards that are only single, like one at a time cards. Like there's gonna have to be some cards that are definitely constructed playables. Chainer's Edict might get hit again. Like, I know there's cheaper copies of it out there, but it's just definitely a card that I could see getting hit again. Next up is Judgment. Could definitely see Sylvan Safekeeper. I don't think it's got hit in a little while. Maybe Balthor. It got hit on a secret lair. I don't see Test of Endurance or Hunting Grounds just because it was in Dominaria Remastered. Although, like, they've done it where they just double tap or triple tap stuff, so maybe I'm just being stupid. I could see them reprinting the whole cycle of the whatever these are, incarnations, or like filth, anger, valor, wonder, and brawn. I could see all of them getting reprinted. I could even see Seed Time and Mayari's Wake. They did World Gorger recently. Yeah, I don't know. Prismatic Strands would be a good reprint. It got reprinted in like Commander 2019, and it's still like a $2 or $3 card there. From what I remember buy listing them for like $2. So like it's got to be like $2-3 at least still probably. Maybe even like Glory gets hit. The Nashoba got hit. Maybe Spelljack. Not that it's worth a whole lot. Stitched Together would be a good reprint. It's not. I wouldn't consider it really a commander card that much, but Riftstone Portal might be a good reprint also. Just to get some foils out there. If I remember correctly, that the foil on that's pretty crazy. So that'd be a nice little like reprint. Because I'm not expecting like I expect them to load up Commander Masters pretty hard. Like they loaded up Double Masters last year, but I also don't think they can go super hard only on expensive cards. Like they're gonna have to find cards that have like, okay, well this card's $1, but the foil is like $50 or $30 or something, or $20. Well, even a $10 foil, and then like just put some of these cards in because like the foils are going to be just terrible, but for the Commander Masters ones because there's going to be so many foils, but definitely will be interesting to see. Next is Onslaught, and I expect the 5 allied fetch lands to be in Commander Masters. I don't expect that enemy fetches. I expect them to leave those for another year. Maybe next year they come back, and that will be even too soon. Like they're going to have to get them a few years off. But I could really see allied fetches because like these are the more expensive versions. The cons versions are cheaper, but they're still like the cons versions are like half this price, which is still pretty decent. Not as much as like the Tarn and Misty and all those were before the Horizons 2 reprint, but still a solid draw. Like it's switched where like these guys were the cheaper ones, and then people were buying these because they were the budget play, and now it's reverse. So now the enemy fetches are the cheaper ones. The other cards I expect Cover of Darkness to get hit anytime now. Like I got rid of all of mine because I don't feel this is good. Like this Cover of Darkness is going to be just like how Patriarch's Bidding was. Because Patriarch's Bidding was like $40-$50. Maybe it was a bit less in the States. But I remember it being like a solid $40-$50 card in Canada. Like 100%. Like, and where's Patriarch's Bidding now? It is like nowhere. I don't even know where it is. it's like probably $3. Oh, it's $4.58. Like, holy cow, that's so cheap. Like, compared, it's like a tenth of the price. Um, Aggravated assault. They even put that in the Warhammer, one of the Warhammer secret layers. It was in, I don't know, box set, and it's got hit a little bit, but not by anything hard enough to knock it. Like, I don't feel it should be $40 still. Mana Echoes was in Double Masters. Maybe it gets run back because that was the original Double Masters. The Sharpshooter, Goblin Sharpshooter, I could see getting hit. Steely Resolve, definitely could see that getting hit. Oversold Cemetery, I could see it. I don't even know why that's still anything in this version, because there was Dominaria remastered versions that are super cheap compared to $15. The Grotto, maybe it gets hit. I don't know if it gets hit in a box topper or in the Commander Masters, but I could see that getting hit. I don't know. Wheel and Deal, Insurrection for sure. I could see getting hit and just having a new version that's like $1. Chain of Vapor, even. What the hell? Ebon Blade Reaper. That was a bulk rare for the longest time. Rot Lung Reanimator. I could see if there's zombies. Like, that's the thing with the Unholy Grotto also. If there's a zombie component in the set, I could see those two cards definitely being in there. Aphato Alchemist. Definitely, I could see that if there. I think it's to do with wizards. Wirewood Lodge, if there's anything to do with elves, definitely I would expect that card. Like, I've expected the Lodge for like a couple years. Blatant Thievery, because that's an old time like card that, like, not old time, but like it's like almost an original Commander card. Like, it took a card that was worth nothing and made it worth something. Chain of Smog could be hit. Enchantress's Presence, I expect in the Commander deck. Yeah, and then we're into stuff that doesn't really matter that much. Maybe Grand Coliseum if they want to give if they want to give City of Brass a break, maybe they put Grand Coliseum in. Probably just the Sliver deck, maybe even. But we'll just have to see. Next up is Legions. I don't expect a whole lot out of here other than slivers. I could see any number of slivers that were in Legions getting put into the Sliver deck, at least. I could also see Seedborn Muse get hit. Glow Rider. Maybe Collar of Claw. Maybe Achroma. They seem to print Achroma every few years, even if it doesn't need a reprint. So, I think the last time was in a secret lair, but then before that it was like in Commander 2020. So it's coming up on like that 3 years from a major hit. So maybe it gets hit again. Not that it's hugely valuable or anything. It's just a big beater. A couple of the zombies might be targets if and some of the lesser elves might be targets if they run tribes. And then the end for this is the last set we're going to look at is Scourge. I somewhat expect the Sliver Overlord to be one of the cards in the Sliver deck. Because they've done, I guess, like Hive Lord could be another 5-color sliver that they would do instead. But I don't know. They haven't reprinted Sliver Overlord except in Secret Lair very recently. So maybe it gets hit. I kind of expect it to get hit. Then you got Stifle. That's more of a constructed card, but I could see it getting put in. Undead Warchief, if there's a zombie component, 100% that would need to get hit. Pemon's Aura, the enchantment that turns any creature into a morphling, definitely could see that getting reprinted, even though it doesn't really make any sense, like why it hasn't got reprinted before that. Decree of Silence, I'm actually surprised it's back down to this price, because the last time I looked it was like insane. I think the last time I looked it was like $15 or something stupid. Lethal Vapors is an interesting card because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not a card that makes sense why. I guess everything naturally creeps up eventually if it never gets reprinted, and this has got reprinted in over 20 years, in about 20 years. So One with Nature be a good reprint. Even Brain Freeze, Wirewood Symbiote, Alpha Status, like just there's a bunch of good uncommons in Scourge, and I think it would depend on tribes. I guess there's not as many as I remember, but I remember like opening packs and you'd almost always get a good uncommon. It was always crazy. Like a lot of the time I was more excited about the uncommons than the rares. Daru Warchief would be another good one if they're going to do a lot of soldier support. So yeah, I have a lot of good memories of this time frame in Magic because I played quite a bit. It wasn't super competitive, but it was still a lot of fun, even though it wasn't like it was more casual play, but it was still, we tried to beat the crap out of each other and one up each other, at least in the group I was in. So I guess my question for these 9 sets is what was your favorite card from this like time frame? Be like around 2001 to 2003. I'd like to know. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.